Good. Big up, everybody. It's the match preview, and it's your boy Mark, an MUFC fan, and we're here to talk about the FA Cup game versus Manchester United against Liverpool, guys. Tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be a big one. Will United get the victory? What are the positives going on? What can we do? How is the season going to change, and what's going on? I got a few of my buddies coming in. See, Botswana is already rocking up. Let's get into the show, guys. Big up. And big up to everyone joining me, and big up to you, Botswana Poppy. What's good, my bro? Hope you're doing well. I came off of a monster stream, bro.
What's up, my bro? I'm good. I'm good. I'm out taking a walk and trying to get my mind off of Liverpool.
Well, bro, that's gonna be super hard, bro. I can't help but say I'm actually excited for the game tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm looking at all the possible players coming back, what that could do for the team going, not just in the game tomorrow, but in the games going forward. We also get the 2 week break for international duty. That's gonna see us receive more players back from injury, and what that holds, because we got 10 more games left. And you know what? I'm still feeling positive for some reason because I just feel like Liverpool and Manchester United, that rivalry, you can't really judge it on run of form. And United always has a chance when we're at home at Old Trafford against Liverpool.
Yes, I think the saving grace is exactly what you said. Um, we're at home. If this was at Enfield, it would be a totally different sort of dynamic. But what being at home has to give us a little bit of confidence, and also the rivalry is like another fountain of inspiration that we're supposed to sort of use,
Hmm.
and hopefully the players like rock up to the occasion because it's a one-off. It's one of those I feel like it'll have the flavor of like the other quarterfinal games that was going on today a little bit. We saw how like Manchester City and Newcastle were pretty much from the beginning of the game. They were like fighting, like going back and forth. Like even Newcastle, you could argue that Newcastle today, um, they stood a really good chance of killing off Man City. It was just Isak was not trying to be clinical today. He became Romelu
Lukaku.
Isaku.
Romelu Luis. Bro, those are the hardest things, right? When you look at it from that perspective, bro,
Exactly.
like when a player is getting all those chances and they just can't find the back of the net, and you've seen them do it before in multiple games, do the same thing, and you're like, how are you not doing this today? So, like, yeah, I was kind of disappointed because I was basically hoping for Manchester United to, I mean, hear me, I was hoping for Newcastle to come away with a victory slim, but probably take it to penalties at least.
Exactly, exactly. And I mean, one strategy is that just sort of hang on, shut shop, do not really risk things offensively, and focus on the defensive presence of the team and organization. And eventually, we will reach a point where we have to settle the game when the odds are a little bit more um, evenly matched a little bit, and that means like a penalty shootout, for example. That is a strategy to get through in a knockout game. Knockout dynamics are very, very, very different from a league game. So you know, it'll depend on
100.
how which direction the manager emphasizes as well, and if the team are in sync with him.
Truly, truly, truly. Like for me, when I look at the perspective of the game tomorrow, I look at the possible players coming back from injury, and there's a few that we could name that's going to be coming back possibly from injury. Mason Mount has been in training today and is set to be fit and available for the squad. There's also the likes of Harry Maguire coming back fit. Rasmus Hoyland, the big man up front. We missed him sorely in the games where he was out injured, even though it was a minor injury. having him come back into and being available, even if he doesn't start, I think that gives Manchester United a big, big, big boost in that game. Also, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yes, it's a boost as well as a what's the word? A gamble. Um, you could say for Ten Hag because obviously there's the idea that okay you don't want to put him into the mix too soon. He's just fresh off of injury. You just saw what happened with other players in the squad that were rushed into play coming back from injury and they've had setbacks. So there is that perspective, but there's also the context of like this game is coming at a time where we have at least another week of recovery from somebody that that like you could take a gamble on. If this game was happening and then next week or 3 days after we're playing like another important league game, then definitely you would say the odds of like somebody like Hoyland starting are slimmer. But this can also mean like you might think of it as play Hoyland for 45 minutes. There's a cup game, see what that impact does, and then from there, like you can also adjust the game from what the outcome of that gamble is.
100%. And it's real when you say it like that, bro, because at the end of the day, I look at it from the perspective that you need to also take into account we got 10 games left in the Premier League, and it's must win all the way around. And it's nice to win a cup, but I would say put in the Premier League in ahead this round. Seeing that fifth spot gets us a Champions League spot, I think we should focus on the Prem. I think we need to focus on what we can do in the next 10 games going forward rather than really what we can do in this game.
Yeah,
Although I do believe the manager will go strong today.
yeah. I mean, he has to go as strong as he possibly can within his means because the whole narrative of the season could change. It hinges on Sunday. you know. Now, of course, it doesn't mean like his future does not really depend on Sunday. I think, even though like we all know what happened to the last Dutch guy who won us an FA Cup, he got fired the next day. So, so he's just. I feel like with Ineos though, they have a little bit more of a sensible mind so far. It seems from the surface. So, you know he
Yeah,
just
it's
has to make he has to make sure that like he wins as much silverware as possible that buys him credit in the bank, because at the end of the day it's a results based business, and if you don't have credit in the bank, or if your credit in the bank has expired, then you are fired.
That's 100%, bro. And you know what it looks for me? I look at it this way, right? And we were on your channel earlier. We were discussing the performances. We were discussing, different things about the fans and the players and whatnot and whatnot. But when we think about the way the season has went for Eric Ten Hag to be 100, right? I feel like we can't really blame him for where we are in the table. Really, I mean, I feel like we have to give the players some responsibility and also the back room around him, because he didn't really get that support in the summer that he should have, and the advice he's been getting from the medical staff has been ruining our season, Poppy. And I feel like any good leader delegates responsibility where it's due. And for him to follow the direction of the medical staff and plan according to that, I think is as it should be. But at the same time, like, look where that got him. You know what I mean? And, people might say I'm making an excuse, right? But look at what he's been doing all season. Mick said it as well, and I've been saying it all the time. He's been rotating the team based on the injuries and where players were missing and trying to make do with what he has throughout. But the two times in the season where he had his full squad available, that was back in October or November, and this month of January, we were and before Martinez got re-injured, we were the team of the month in both months. You know what I mean? So I feel like
Yeah,
he's on to something when he has his full team available, and we all could say when that squad is playing, we do enjoy watching us play because we do play well and we do create a lot of chances and we put them away because we won most of those games. So it's like for me, yeah, I'm gonna say he made some probably sketchy decisions in between, but what manager doesn't make some mistakes and some risky moves, whether it backfires or it's successful?
Yeah, part of the business is making risky moves and being rewarded for the ones that the risks don't end up coming to bite you. So that's the whole game. Actually, that's the basis of football, and you can extrapolate that to tactical overloads on the pitch as well. It's all little risks that sometimes how Man City can look vulnerable while they still look in control of the game at the same time. You know,
100%.
and yeah, so but at the end, the other thing to emphasize too is Ten Hag deserves some blame for not being able to make systematic adjustments that expose the gulf and difference between Martinez and other defenders. I understand injuries and unfortunate setbacks and so forth, but you also have to be able to make tactical team adjustments that allow all as much of your strengths of your players of the tools that you have to
Hmm.
shine. So if your tools are being exposed, it means you are also being exposed by how you are arranging your tools. So the whole puzzle has been imbalanced and sort of like un not in a uniform like way, and it's partially he has to take a lot of the blame, you know, for that.
Yeah, I would agree with that because at the end of the day, he's the manager. You know what I mean? But I also would also say that there are some times and some players that, we might say they're duds. But if we look at them, he has improved a lot of the players in the squad and players that he didn't buy. Like Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me has been one of the major improvements over the tenure of Eric Ten Hag as well as Diogo Dalot. I'd also say, look, he brought Garnacho forward. He brought Menu forward. You know what I mean? Marcus Rashford last season, definitely there had to be some improvement based on the coaching because he scored his most ever goals in a Premier League season. You know, and it's like for me, I want to give him time. We have games to go on, and sure, the season hasn't gone to plan. But what if we get some backup for next season? I see that there are already reports coming in about possible transfers and stuff. As you know, this international break is probably going to spark the beginning of the transfer sagas for all the clubs leading up to the summer. So, getting into the game against Liverpool, who do you think? Or maybe I should wait till Drex is back. But
Yeah,
let me
wait,
ask you
wait,
anyway.
wait, wait till Drex is back. I want to tell who's in the chat right now. Is it Stephanie?
Hmm.
Stephanie, I have a this is you're gonna enjoy this revelation. It's a secret. I asked Mark a long time ago when he were having troubled times at Manchester United, trying to understand the game, the tactics, the result, and Mark was like, yeah, context, context. And I was like, how many times have we said context, context, understand the injuries, understand this? And he's like, okay, yes, he's supposed to deal with it as a manager, but understand, we are missing key players. And I was like, okay, fine. Everybody has a final straw of when they break. Like even every board room has that game that they have to call a board meeting and they say, hey, look, it's been going horrible the last couple of weeks, and we need to make a decision. So we're firing the guy. We're making a vote. Blah 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 blah. So I asked Mark, "What is your final straw?" And Mark said, "10 Premier League games that we lose." Then he'll stop saying, "Oh, okay. Let's stop looking at the context too much and really put more blame on the manager." All right, speak on that.
Well, I am like I'm saying, I'm giving Eric Ten Hag his
Last
blame.
time I looked at the Premier League table, there is 11 Premier League losses.
Right.
And
That
here you are
11th loss
saying,
came at Fulham, if you don't remember, right? And I
yes.
did say it at the game, Poppy. We hit the 11th loss. I do this. I'm really disappointed in the performance today. Like I really was, right, in that game. Like I think I was short on the stream that day as well because I was so pissed off with the game because I was like, even though some of the players weren't performing, I felt like he could have made some different changes. I saw he tried to change things in the middle of the game and it wasn't working, but I was like, listen, in my mind, I was like, listen, we needed to get Rashford off that pitch earlier, and he should have came off, but he took him off way too late. The substitution was too late, and that was bad. So I blame him for that, right? But like I said, bro, like I'm still gonna say he needs some time, and he needs some more players to come in,
So some
because
more grace period. Okay, how many more losses now till the end of the season? Since
I
we're at
mean, I'm
11.
not gonna fire him, bro. Like, if that's what you're thinking, like, I will be mad, and I probably will criticize more. But like, I'm being honest, bro. I feel like I've seen a lot over the last two seasons, and the last season and this season, and I've seen more positive change in terms of certain performances and what we can do if we have if when we're playing properly and stuff like that. And I'm like, listen, if we get five players, like let's say two defenders, two midfielders, and a striker, because I believe we have more than enough wingers right now. We could probably sell two wingers and still have enough wingers for next season. So, in my opinion, is like if we do that, I think the results will be even better next season than we could have imagined it. Because in one aspect, I feel like if we had a player out and we had the right replacement, like let's say if we get Goncalo Ignacio, who's left-footed, progressive player, almost identical in terms of play style to Martinez, but he's younger. He's 22 years old. He's 6'1", and he's very experienced. He's one of the most experienced players and one of the first names on the starting 11 of Sporting Lisbon. And I'm like, what if we get this guy, right? Then if Martinez is out, then he comes in. Our style of play doesn't change. We can still build out from the back the same way with Martinez if he wasn't there, because he could still break lines. He has one of the highest progressive passing rates in all central defensive midfielders this, and I mean center backs this season off the left, and he's a left footer as well. What if we get a left back a left back replacement? Maybe some guy like, let's say, Baldi from Barcelona, because I really like that youngster. He has that never say die attitude. He always tackles well. I think he has had a few injuries, but last season he played a lot of games. He played 23 games consistently, and his performances were at least 7 out of 10 in all those games. And he contributes with assists and the odd goal here and there. So maybe let's say we get those two players. So like let's say if we do have a Shaw or we don't have a Shaw, then we still have two left backs because Malacio will be back next season. He might be out for all of the season, but he will be back. And we could still bring back Alvaro Fernandez, who has been out all year, getting mad experience from playing in La Liga and the Portuguese league. And he's playing in Europa. So for me, I look at that as progression. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of the players in our squad, I wanted to be sold in 2022. And most of them are still here. And I feel like those are the guys largely responsible for us giving up games and not performing to the best of our ability in most situations, even before Eric Ten Hag came. So that's why I would say I would give him some time.
Okay, so all right, we're gonna have to wait for. I'm gonna summarize what you said. Savior Ignacio to come save us, just like we couldn't get Savior De Jong, so we got Savior Amrabat. I remember Amrabat before he came,
I
man. The
never
hype
wanted
was.
him though. I would
Okay,
remind you
okay,
that I was one of the guys that was against purchasing Amrabat.
okay. Well, yeah, you did your scouting, but all I'm telling you is like then we heard we had a well, we had Savior Casemiro before Amrabat, obviously, and then yeah, and now all right, Balde. We will be there. If Balde comes, if the right recruitment comes and helps him find proper defenders who can play the way he wants, then we shall see improvements, and we will be there for that. And for me, I'm more structure in, and let's try and change other parts. We've tried the thing where we change the manager thing so many times that like I'm tired of it. So Ten Hag gets my mercy hands.
Yeah. Also, the reason why I'm saying this is because when I oh you
is a little bad right
Yeah,
now. But anyway, but yeah. So I was just explaining that like Ten Hag gets my Messi through that lens of like not wanting to chop and change managers all the time. It's like let's chop and change something else. I'm tired of like chopping and changing the same thing. So that's what I'm gonna say, bro. But I actually have to get moving. So I just wanted to just make sure that I voiced that opinion and say big up to everybody that's tuning in. Like this thing and make sure you subscribe as well, guys.
big up to you, Poppy. Thanks for coming through, my bro. I think Drex is going to be here shortly, so I'll carry it on with him. But thanks so much
Nice.
for popping in, my bro.
Of course, my G. Peace. Talk to you soon.
Peace. Big up Stephanie and big up to you, Superfly. Like I'm gonna say it like this. Like I'm just thinking prospectively speaking. When you look at the game against Liverpool tomorrow, it's gonna be a tough game. Liverpool has been one of the best teams in form apart from Arsenal this season. But also, if you look at it from the perspective of when we have faced Liverpool this season, we came out with a nil-nil draw, and that's tough for lots of teams to say that they could go to the Anfield and come out without Liverpool scoring against them, especially a United team that wasn't facing it with their best starting 11, in my opinion. And it's one of those things where it's going to be always going to be a difficult season. It's the Premier League. It's always going to be difficult facing the top teams in the Premier League, and United has to find a way through. The fellas need to come out and show out tomorrow. I'm going to keep saying that the players need to come out and do their best, not just for the manager, but for themselves. They should want to win something this season. We haven't had a chance to do well in the Champions League. We got knocked out from our defense of the Carabao Cup. And as little as that is, that should impact the players in such a way that they should say to themselves, listen, enough is enough. We need to fight and fight really hard and come out on top in this game because it's up for the taking. I mean, Liverpool is a team that's suffering with a lot of injuries. It's true that they have Mohamed Salah, and they have Darwin Nunes, and they have a Luis Diaz, and they've all been performing really well in the last couple of games. But their defense is weakened right now. I mean, they have a young a Connor playing in the back, right back, because Trent is out injured. Marcus Rashford should be having a great game tomorrow against him. When you look at it, all things considered. Even Garnacho against Robertson, who's just came back from injury. Garnacho just came off a game where he created two penalties from his play. He should be having a good game against Robinson as well. I'm not saying Robinson is not a good defender, but at the same time, if you look at it prospectively speaking, Garnacho has been in really good form. And even if he hasn't scored goals, he's been always been a huge threat going forward in every game he has played so far. If he can continue and play the same way he played in the last game, making the correct decisions that he was making in that game, he's certainly going to get himself in the running to score a goal or maybe a couple assists, or maybe even win a penalty against Robinson. You never know. And you know what? The icing on the cake is what if Rasmus Højlund starts, guys? I hope Drex comes in soon so we could bounce some questions off him because he has a different perspective from me. Everyone might think I'm overly positive, but I'm just thinking. If I was thinking mostly Rasmus Højlund might come in from the second half, and that way the team will change things during the game so they have a different goal. But at first speaking, like I would like to see him start in the sense that I know how important he is for the team. But in terms of when I look at as I was telling Papi, I'm thinking always about the next 10 games in the Premier League. And it's more important for us to have Rasmus fit for those games than have him start against Liverpool tomorrow. But if he's really back and ready, if he starts, that's game changing because that gives Van Dijk a lot to think about as well as Kwanzaa. He's a handful, that youngster. He's got a lot of pace on him, good turn on the ball, very good control, and he's definitely a goal threat. So, guys, what are you saying? I see Superfly is coming back in. Yeah, we do have to fight, even if they know they won't be at United next season. They need to fight to play at another good club or face a massive drop in the team they play for. 100% correct. And Razwan is coming in. Big up to you, my bro. Before anything, the players need to understand that they need to keep a clean sheet. This is about giving 100% physically and mentally. 100%, bro. I'm telling you, this is exactly how I look at the game. I like that idea that you came in with there. I like that point you made in. We have to come in there and play to keep a clean sheet. We have to keep ourselves mentally focused for the 19 plus minutes. It's probably going to be 10 minutes extra time at the end of the game. Liverpool is playing Man United. It's definitely going to be probably 105 minutes of gameplay if you factor in the minutes of extra time that probably will be added to the second half. Guys, it's an exciting one. I want to know what your thoughts are. If you're excited, how do you feel? Are you getting your pain meds or your are you getting your pressure meds ready, or do you have your drink in your cup? Are you going to be sitting lounging after a late lunch or early dinner and getting ready to enjoy a Manchester rivalry game against Liverpool? What are your thoughts, guys? Would you start Rasmus or bring him on when VVD and Co are tired? Well, Stephanie, I'm thinking I would bring him on when VVD and Co are a little bit tired and he's full of energy. Let him create lots of chaos in that defense. You know what I mean? I feel like, we can start the game without him and give Liverpool something different to talk about. Because when I say talk about, I mean think about during the game. Because if Marcus Rashford starts up front, they're gonna think, you know what, we are trying to get in behind. What if we have a Marcus Rashford up front, Anthony somehow is playing off the left, and Garnacho is playing off the right? We have a Wan-Bissaka and a Dalot playing, so our defense is back to balance, on a better balance that we had for the last 7 games. And you know what? I think that gives us a strong foundation to hold a positive, clean sheet for at least for the first 70, 80 minutes, and give us a foundation to build our attacks from. Because when you look at it, Stephanie, you know, Rasmus is going to bring that energy, nonstop pressing up front. He's going to always give his all. He's going to be physical. He's going to try to get his shots off. He try to make runs into box. And I feel like when he's not fully fit, or we don't know if he's match fit yet, maybe giving him 40 to 50 minutes might be the best thing. So maybe coming off the bench might be ideal. What do you think, Stephanie, since you asked me that question? I'm not too sure. Drex is about to get in. Guys, let's just go into this article. I wanted to bring this to you to show you guys, what's happening and what they've been saying. This has just been an article providing some tactical information about the game and what they think is going to be happening during the game and who they think the starting lineup is. This comes from One Football. I use this information, you know. Oh yeah, Steph, great, because we're thinking the same. And with your 2-1 predictions to this weekend, all the home teams, you might just be right. Superfly is saying, I just hope I've not had to find another game or motor racing or something to watch instead after the first half hour. Bro, that energy we can't be having. It's too early. The game hasn't started. But let's check this out, my bro. Let's check this out, guys. Let's see what's happening here. You know, And this article is coming to you from One Football, guys. I'm not sponsored by them, but they do have good information when they bring the article, and it's just their tactical analysis. Manchester United will host Liverpool at Old Trafford tomorrow in the quarterfinal round of the FA Cup. Both sides will look to get the better of each other on the big night. While Liverpool have been unstoppable recently, the Red Devils have shown fine form and could be lethal with the support of the home crowd. It's exactly what I'm thinking, guys. You know, Eric Ten Hag probably is going to prefer a 4-2-3-1 lineup with the overload in the midfield and neutralize his opponents. His men will have to cover good ground and be effective in both defending and attacking if they wish to bring a positive result. Jurgen Klopp will field the traditional 4-3-3 formation and ask the midfielders to supply the ball to their wingers. Their attackers have been in terrific form and can create goals out of nowhere. With results going in their favor, they will be high in confidence. Guys, and this, for me, could be the reason why we might have a better game than everyone expects, because Liverpool might be so confident, they might be too confident. And it might be possible that they might be a bit complacent. And as I was saying earlier, we still have injuries to the likes of, Luke Shaw, Terrell Malacia, Lissandro Martinez. Those are notable absencees, including Anthony Martial, but we all know that he's probably not going to return in a United shirt this season. But the predicted 11 is Onana, Diego Dalot, Varane, Maguire, Lindelof, Mainu, Casemiro, Garnacho, Fernandez, Rashford, and Hoyland. I'm not too sure about that because I'm somehow thinking that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to sneak in there, but you never know. The Liverpool possible predicted 11, as you know, their main goalkeeper is out injured, so it's probably going to be Keller in goal, Bradley, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, McAllister, Endo, Szoboszlai, Salah, Nunez, and Diaz. Guys, what are your thoughts? Is possibly going to see the return, as we were talking about, Rasmus Højlund. And as you can see, I just heard my buddy pop in. I've been waiting for him to come in. And now that I've given you this bit of information, let's hear what's going on from my buddy Drex. Big up, my
Yo,
bro.
yo,
How are
yo!
you
Sorry,
doing?
man. Sorry, it's been crazy out here. I've been okay. Yeah, I was actually on my phone, like listening to what you've been saying, right? Shout out to Botswana Papi for coming up as well. Yeah, tomorrow it's just gonna be one of those games. By the way, am I too loud or am I okay? Cause okay, yeah, yeah. Tomorrow is one of those games where I don't know, you might be bossing it in the league. You might be doing so bad in the league, right? I know we say it's rivalry. Sometimes most of us we actually say form is out of the window, right? But the truth is, honestly, form is out of the window. Honestly, you can't go back on that one. Form is out of the window. It's a rivalry game. The players need to know. See, it's I know, like Ronald said earlier in one of the stream we were on, it was like it's motivation for both sides. But I think it's super motivation. It's a double motivation for the United team because why I say so: one, we're home; two, it's another route to try and get what we didn't get right in the first last season. You know, we're at the final of the AFK Cup. We lost it to City. Um, we want to get that right. Let's see how we can get, because if you get past Liverpool, you have Coventry right in front of you waiting. It's not like you have a Chelsea or a Leicester. You have a Coventry, which I would fancy United to win that game, or I would fancy Liverpool to win that one, right? But it's a game where you just have to. They have to win. I know Liverpool might feed a depleted squad here or there, but don't forget the likes of Luis Diaz will still be starting. Salah might start. Nunes up front. So but we have players that can actually get get the best out of Liverpool players, if you know what I mean. We have players that could actually hold their own, and players that could actually win a game of football, irrespective of who the opposition is. So I just feel like the players need to step it up tomorrow. You need to just, if they've been giving, maybe if they've been saying, oh, but we've been giving 100 every time we come on the pitch, bro. I know I don't want to know. I want to sympathize with you for giving 100 all this while, but tomorrow, man, you have to find an extra 100 added to the previous one, making it 200, bro. I don't know where you want to pull that up from, but you got to do it for the fans, for yourself, for the manager. Let me put it that way: for the fans, for yourself, and for the manager. It feels like, I don't know if it will cut the manager a lot of slack if we get to the final, right? But I just feel like it would do the manager and the players a lot of good, a lot of good to actually get to the final again. Like, look at Arsenal now, right? They were in
Mhm.
the title race last season, and everybody was like, maybe it's gonna be one-off thing. Now this season, they mount the pressure again, and they're top of the league, still in the title race, right?
Mhm.
If you don't buy the ticket, you don't win the raffle. So we have to go buy the ticket tomorrow. We have to buy the ticket tomorrow, and put ourselves in a position where we might just end up winning the raffle. That's how I see it.
100%, bro. Listen, right? Now, you might be saying the manager might be okay. I'm saying it, I look at it from the perspective with this structure coming in, there's no need to look for another manager, at least right now. One, this manager already contracted for another year, so that gives you more time to do more research. You know, and if there was listening, if there was advice by Ralph Ragnick, I'm pretty sure that their main focus would be, you know what, let's change over some of this squad a little bit, even if it's maybe five players or two or three players we didn't expect. Maybe changing is good regardless of how you look at the perspective, because from when you think about it, you have to always consider that the fact that different things are always in play, and the common denominator is not always a good thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have too many players here that was the common denominator under 3 to 4 managers already in the last 5 years. We need to get that out of the club. And whoever those players are that leave this summer, bro, whether they leave on good terms or on bad terms, it's needed for change. Change
100.
can't just happen, because you always have to remember. So, like, you have to be fair to players too. Like, this system might not be suited for the to get the best out of some players. And while we might love them as Manchester United fans because they've been here for the last few years, it might be better for them to go and play in a system that suit
To
them so that
bounce.
they could
Yep.
enjoy their football. And it will suit us because then we will get players who could come in to fit the system so we could enjoy our own football watching it. You know what I mean? So, and the game against Liverpool for me is going to be a good game regardless. I'm not from the perspective or from the camp that thinking, we're going to get smashed by Liverpool. It hasn't happened this season. If you're talking about we're going to get smashed by Liverpool, tell me you're saying that because of last season or the season before.
Yeah.
It could never be based off of this season because it was one of the games at Anfield with a weakened United missing Bruno as well, as well as Martinez was out. And we went there, and in the last of the game, we could have nicked a win, and that would have
Yeah.
been three
True.
points. We
True.
was the team with the higher XG in a
Hmm.
game against Liverpool at home, at Anfield. And
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
huge. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
while we could always say, listen, the manager has not performed to what we would say is the Manchester United standard this season, we also have to be, as I was telling Papi earlier, we have to also be contextual. And the fact is, the matter is, every single game, every single club always will have to look at context of their season, right? Because at the end of the day, the reality is reality. Because prospectively speaking, in theory, if you have players on the bench, they should come in and the team should play and they should usually keep a similar standard, right? But
Hmm.
in reality, if the players coming off the bench don't fit the system and are already not as good in terms of quality level as the players who starting, then you're in for a whole heap of problems,
True.
whole heap of problems, right? And they're going to have inconsistency. And we've been fighting that for the entire season based on the fact that, you know what? We didn't have no players available. You know what I mean? We didn't, and and listen, when we get some players back, some other players was injured. We played the 37th back four pairing in the game last week. 37. You know how detrimental is that to having a style of play, a proven system, consistent patterns, the way you do things. It's huge. And the problem is a lot of fans will say, well, look at this player, look at this coach, look at this one. They funny enough, a lot of fans saying, look at Liverpool. And I would say, well, if you comparing us to Liverpool, then Eric Ten Hag has to be doing such an amazing job in 1.5 seasons that he could be compared with a manager who's doing a job for the last 7 to 9 seasons.
But one thing I think, right, last season Liverpool were in a rocky state. They were in a bad state last season, and look at where um they ended up. Right, they ended up in the Europa League spot, right? And although I don't like to use the excuse of injury, but when you factor in all variables involved, it feels like we're having something that Liverpool had last season. Whatever bug or whatever flu, whatever it is Liverpool had last season, it feels like we're having it this season, right? And we are actually trying to see if we could get who actually do a little better. I'm not saying you Liverpool are the yardstick. I'm just saying what happened to them last season. People were actually commending Klopp for actually finally getting them the team rally around the team to put them in a state of actually trying to finish top four last season, right? But they fell short. Now this season, people are actually throwing stones at Eric Ten Hag for virtually trying to do the same thing Klopp did last season that he got praised for. So right now it feels like the it feels like the team are actually united, whatever it is, fan base, media, they whatever we do, it's not enough. And I understand we've been held, or we have been held to a high standard, right? Which is a positive, right? But come on, we have to face. Sometimes we have to just face reality. All right. That being said, tomorrow there won't be any excuse for these players. Tomorrow it's one of the. It's not a league game. It's not a league game where we'll be like, okay, yeah, tomorrow it's a one-time, one-off game. You just play it and just hope for the win. Play for the win, not hope for the win. Play for the win and give your all. There's, like I said, I think I don't was in this stream or the previous stream on Max channel. I was like, there's a time where you play and you win. There's sometimes you don't play but you end up winning, and there's sometimes where you don't play at all and you lose, and so it's well deserved that you lose, right? And the other scenario is where you play a lot, you do all the playing, but you're just unlucky on the night, and people are like, okay, okay, we could see what you would try to do there and all of that, right? So that's, I don't want either of this case. I just want a case where we either don't play but end up winning. Something should just happen that tomorrow that we end up winning. But I'd love us to actually play, give it our all, so that we can actually say, okay, at the end of the day, we deserved to win the game because we executed the manager's instruction, the manager's plan. It was executed to the T, and that got us the win. That's all I want to hear tomorrow. That's all I want to be back here in the reaction and saying, okay, it was a good win. It was whatever it is, whether it was a great, what not so great. Fans can complain as long as we win. I don't even care what they complain about. Be it the poor performance, but a win is a win. I want to take a win tomorrow. I've never wanted a win as bad as tomorrow. I don't know if that makes sense though. I've never wanted a win. Like watching United, right? Okay, one time I think the Champions League game against Chelsea. Yeah, but I've never like in the recent time I've never actually wanted a win like tomorrow, man. It's always been a case of, okay, I'm optimistic going to the match. I'm optimistic we would get, like, I have to keep my hopes high. I have to, but tomorrow is a case where optimism is not even there. It's way past optimism at this point. It's more of, yo, whatever happens tomorrow, come out of that game with the winner.
Big up Superfly. Yeah, I'll try to put the link in all the streams, bro. I'm just getting used to doing all the linking and adding all the links. So I'll start adding the links to the bottom of the streams and stuff so that the people could just click it to subscribe to the channel and whatnot. Yeah. And by that note, guys, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe, especially if you're new guys. You know what? Hit the notification bell and set it on all so that you could see whenever we're live. Thank you. Big up to you, bro. And Drex, like you were saying there, bro, we need to just come out and perform well, do our best. You know what I mean? Keep it compact, but yet still keep the ball moving when we're going forward and create the attacks and try to be very clinical. And you know what? Maybe we should pop a lineup and build a lineup and see what it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. Just do it before we, yeah, in the next 5 minutes. Yeah.
Because yes, Rajat, big up to you. We always be thinking Manchester United is certainly gonna come away with a win, but let's keep it real at the same time. Let's build a little lineup and see how this works out. You know, um, it's phew, yeah, it's gonna be like this. Let me just zoom it in a little bit so I think that works. Right, guys, what are your thoughts?
Hold on a sec, man. Hold on. Oh yeah.
Boom. Yeah, so let's get it in like this. Big up to you guys. I'm gonna say let's start with Onana in goal
Mm-hmm.
because we know that he's definitely gonna start. His performances has been pretty good this season. So Andre Onana definitely goes into goal. Big up to him. I don't know about you guys, but Aaron Wan Basaka is fit. The only thing is, where
Bro,
do
I'm
we
I'm I'm
start
hearing
him?
I'm hearing something right now. The producer backstage, the further backstage is telling me that it feels like there's a rumor going on that Mason Mount might just be in on the bench for that game. Mason
Yeah,
Mount.
He is going to be on the bench for that game. And I'm thinking, what I'm asking you guys, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about who's going to
Superfly
be?
is coming in saying Dalo or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, be a bit much for first game back for Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He's saying right there.
All right, so
I
then let's
agree
go
with
with the
Superfly.
low.
I agree with Superfly. Right back, I would go with the low. Because Eric
Boom.
Ten Hag might just want to see how the first half or see how the game is progressing and find a way. Maybe if there's something that maybe if either the left back or the right back is being overwhelmed, depending on where the pressure is, and it feels like okay, you know what, AWB, I feel like you could take the pressure off this particular position, be it the left or the right, wherever it is, right? So he's gonna
Hmm.
want to look at the game and just don't want to rush the guy in and just be like, okay, let me see what the tempo is at, then I'll know where to fit you in. But I won't be surprised. Superfly, I won't be surprised if the man just puts Aaron Bissaka on the right wing and sends, because it's better to, if you want to even play Aaron Bissaka, it's better to put Aaron Bissaka on the right wing, right? Then send that load to the left, because that way you know he's coming back from injury and you want to play him in his more favorite position, which would be the right wing. But if Aaron Bissaka had maybe like 2 3 games in the before now, I know I feel like you just chucked him on the left side of the fullback position.
So what are we saying? We're saying Lindelof starting at left back.
I feel Lindelof is going to start at left back. It's gonna be torrid for the eyes. It's gonna be horrible for the eyes
That's gonna be
to
peak,
behold.
bro. That's gonna be real peak, bro.
Yo, it's gonna be tough, but yeah, I know Raja. We know Aaron Basaka. It's not so great in attacking, but recently it's. I think he's up his attacking um contribution as well, though.
Yeah, he's
It's
been
just
good.
his
I
it's
think
just
he's
his
been pretty good
final
going
his
forward, bro.
finish is he needs to fine tune something. Yeah, yeah. Super Lafara, I agree with you 100%, dude. I'm just saying I agree with you. It's a bit much of his. Yeah, I agree with you. You don't want to put pressure on the team if the man gets injured, let's say in the first 30 minutes, and that will send a lot of shivers down the spine of a lot of these players. So I feel like more our players stay injury free in that game, at least it will help. And tomorrow, one thing has to be said that I've not heard anybody say I've been watching a lot of previews. One thing has to be said: United, be it a half chance, a quarter chance, a 0.001% chance, you'd have to convert it. I don't want to know. You'd have to be clinical tomorrow. If it's marginal, if it's gonna go to VAR and say, okay, it's an offside or not, you'd have to finish your dinner and let VAR take care of themselves.
100%, bro. End the text. Play to the whistle tomorrow.
No, no, no. Rashford should be on the left, man.
Yeah, well, who gonna play? We gonna put Bruno at false nine? Because I don't think Rasmus Hoyland starting tomorrow. I think he will come off the bench.
If that's the case, I wouldn't see. The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised to see because I know Dalot playing on the right back, right, can actually still hold his own. But Lindelof might need some sort of cover. So I don't know if I would just something in me just say send Anthony that way, because you can't put Ganacho and Lindelof on the same position. There won't be a lot of cover for him, right? So I would just say I would put Anthony on the left. Might
I
even
mean, he
just
did come on the left in the last two games he played. He
yeah,
came
I
on.
would. Yeah, I would even say to be fancy or to be reckless a bit. I even put Anthony at the spearhead the attack, and have Ganacho on the right, Rashford on the left. So that way, all three of them can rotate if they want to. All three of them can go into different position if they want to. But this same way, you could have it. I don't know. You could have it the same way, but I just feel like if Anthony that way, Ganacho and Anthony knows okay, you and I have to just switch a lot of times, right? So when we're on the counter or whatever it is, yeah. I know it would because you need somebody to occupy. Honestly, Mark, I think after having thought about it, you need somebody to occupy. What's his name? Virgil Van Dijk, right? You don't want to
Hmm.
give him the amount of time we gave to Everton defenders in the last game. So the Van Dijk needs to be worried about somebody. Maybe Anthony could just be that person to give him a headache. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. I don't
because
mind this lineup, to be fair. Like,
if
I
you
like
have
this lineup in the sense that I feel
Mhm.
like he get the best out of Rashford, he could get the best out of Garnacho. Anthony could float, and still provide that cover. He could even drift down into midfield
yeah,
as a
and
second winger.
yeah,
You know
and
what I
allow
mean?
Bruno to play ahead
And
and go
allow
into the
Bruno
first.
to play
Yeah,
ahead as well.
and this way, with the Superfly is coming in, he's talking. I think he's talking about Aaron Bissaka could be the rest back in the world. Yeah, could work on aspect of passing and cross. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% spot on.
Spot
Superfly.
on there, Superfly. Spot on, 100%.
Nobody, ain't no one better than him. Yeah, no one better than him tackling. He
And
tends to.
guys, this is not to say that we don't we not, this is the team that gonna win us the game. Because if you look at it, just remember we considering the fact that Harry Maguire is fit and
Hmm.
could come off the bench. Wan Bissaka is fit; he could also come off the bench. And Rasmus Højlund is fit; he could also come off the bench. You know what I mean? Yeah, Superfly. And this is
No,
this is also
that's
something
what
that
no,
might
that's what I
not
was
be a
trying to
bad
say.
shout.
That's what I was trying to say. Superfly was saying, I'd rather have Ganashu on the right wing right now, right, than Anthony up in the middle. Because we all know Rashford is good at coming from the left. So that way, Anthony and Ganashu know within themselves that they would have to be doing a lot of switching. Like, it's gonna be who Virgil van Dijk wouldn't actually know who exactly he's is to mount on, right? Because
Hmm.
I feel like if Garnacho is just like the striking position, right? It might be a few days for Van Dijk. Van Dijk already knows. But if you have Anthony, all three of them could actually switch in. Like all three of them do need to be static tomorrow. Yeah, maybe Garnacho might be just be predominantly on the right because he's been doing very well on the right currently. But I feel like, yeah, if you have this setup, right, Anthony can actually drift to the left and put a cross from the left. Rashford can come to the middle and all of that. That movement can be there. So because we're not gonna have a striker that you're gonna be playing out the ball to that would want to hold the play and get everybody involved. It's gonna be more of a quick transition kind of football. And so you need someone like maybe a Ganacho still on the right, such that if he decides to put in a cross, there's an Anthony that can actually maybe take it one time. Bruno can. So it's not. Yeah, Superfly is actually right. Coming, but we know recently Ganacho has been very, very, very productive off the right as compared to Anthony.
No, but look,
As
I'll say it
compared to
like this,
Anthony.
Drex, right?
Yeah,
Not to cut you earlier, but
yeah,
I'll say it like this, right? The way Garnacho has been playing in the last few games,
yeah.
right? If Anthony playing at striker, whether it's Anthony or Bruno, Garnacho, I feel like if it's Anthony,
Mm,
Garnacho would have the ability to cut in and make
mm,
a deeper cut. Like you see from where Menu positions is, let's say we are the counter
yeah,
and Garnacho is where Menu is.
yeah.
And he cut into where Anthony currently is to the top of the box going, dribbling. And at that same time, Anthony moved out to where Garnacho
Hmm.
picture is,
Yeah, and
right?
Ganacho gets into the
That
middle.
creates movement and space. You understand? So
Hmm.
the attack could be, in what, for not lack of a better word, fluid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you know what, Anthony, he could even either have a go or slot it out to Anthony off the left, who now will be cutting back because remember his left foot. So when the defender chasing him this way, when he get the ball and cut back, the defender momentum already having him off balance. You know?
Hmm.
So it's one of those things when you look at it, if you could either you could also play Bruno because when we played Bruno there, Bruno was actually doing more involved in the game in terms of attack, less involved in the
Hmm.
crazy nonsense.
Hmm.
So for me,
Mm.
maybe you could also play Bruno there, and then
Bro,
then
bro,
that
I
way
need.
you could still play Anthony
Uh-huh.
of the in the midfield.
Bro, I need somebody that would. I need somebody that would draw us a lot of foul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ganacho does not know how to put himself between man and body and man and
Yeah,
ball.
he did. He got two penalties in
I
the
know,
last
but
game.
those ones were when he was trying to cut, like run at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's some certain times where you need to actually just know that what you want about to do is going to cost you, it's going to bring pain to you in terms of someone is going to quack you, someone is going to hit you on your leg, and So I feel like Anthony can even do that more better than
Yeah.
If Garnacho is good at coming to you, then he knows how to fade you. He knows how to hot and make you draw you into make you make the first move, whereas he can just beat you, right? But
Mm-hmm.
for Anthony can keep the ball and try to want to do a flick or try to want to draw somebody in. If you know, if he plays on the right wing, right,
Mm-hmm.
he tends to hold the ball and try to look it up and see who he can do a short pass to, right? So I feel like for me, I wouldn't want to alter the process of Garnacho on the right and right. You can actually still keep Anthony on the bench and play Bruno first night. But Mount is, I was going to talk about Mount, but Mount is not 100% fit, right? Because we know Liverpool, they'll be having McAllister, they'll be having Sabozlai, and they'll be having Endo in the midfield because Gakpo will come off the bench and Gravenberg is already out injured, right? No doubt, no Diogo Jota. So this is the three people I think they will start. Then up front might be what's his name? Luis on the left, Salah on the right, then maybe Avi Elliott in the middle or something like that. I don't think Nunes will start. Nunes might end up coming up from the bench, but I'm just saying, right? I would need so you could actually have this lineup, or you could actually have Bruno first nine and find a way to play Ericsson at the 10 position. That's what. Then maybe then get Ericsson off in the second half, exactly 50 minutes. Get Ericsson off, throw in McTominay in place of Ericsson, and just see how, because that'll be a lot of energy for them to match up as well. So that's me what I'm just thinking. I don't I don't know. I just feel like yeah.
Hmm. Well, it is what it is, my bro. And I just wanted to, as we was talking about games, I wanted to just mention a few changes happening in Man
Rajat is
United
saying
and things that maybe
United will get 10 million penalty if they don't qualify for Champions League. Mm.
was
Rajat, you
that?
want to give us something more about that one? Oh, Amas has signed the
Yeah,
first
yeah, yeah.
professional. Yeah.
That Rajat. We will talk about that in a few seconds, bro. I'll mention that in a few seconds. I know what you're talking about there.
Okay.
Amas signs his first professional contract yesterday at
That's good.
Manchester United,
That's
guys.
good.
This is exciting because you know what? He's 16 years old. He already was on the bench for the last two games, and he probably
Hmm.
will continue to be at the bench. And us signing him to a contract in this day and age and in this stage, knowing that we have Omar Barada, who's already doing things behind the scenes, you know, it's huge for Manchester United. And then it have this other youngster who I haven't been talking much about him because I didn't want to overhype him, but this youngster Benedito Mantato, whew, bro.
That name sounds Brazilian, but
Nah,
it
he's
sounds
a little
sounds
African youth, bro. But the youth
sounds like
man,
it sounds like a
probably
Brazilian
from
from
Angola
another
side.
what should we call it, another continent.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
youngster had ball, youngster had ability, bro.
Oh,
Like for
okay.
me,
Yeah.
bro, left foot, right foot. You already know I'll go, that direction, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Anyway, so hope young things coming through. This young talent. The both of them have are said to be training with the Manchester United first team. I don't know if anyone knows, but we brought in Harry Amas
Even the
at the end of
Benedito
last
thing
season
guy.
from Watford in
Yeah.
January last season.
Oh, the Benedito actually committed his future. That's good. That's good.
Mhm. Yeah,
I just
they just signed their professional contracts
yeah. I
yesterday. The
just
two
hope
of
that
them.
they break through, because it's one thing to actually play with the senior team, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
it can only be good news for him and the club. It's one thing to actually be training with the senior teams, another thing to actually break through. Like like everybody's right to say we didn't really understand why Fosun started ahead of Ahmad, right? But the truth is, now we saw Fosun, we could actually make a from the few games we saw Fosun play. Maybe not enough. Maybe like for me, 5 games and above. That's where I start looking. Okay, was this guy's good enough or not? Right. So I like to see these players, right? When they break through, not now, when they break through, I like to see them seize the opportunity such that the manager can actually have them at the back of his mind every time he wants to make a selection on who's to come off the bench, right? Then they will be popping up in his head like, okay, when this guy came the other day, he seized the opportunity. I could see what he was trying to do there. Maybe inexperience is why he didn't get through. But so those are the kind of things I want to see, not just coming in. I know, okay, you've made your debut for United, and he are being swallowed up by the occasion or by the fact that they're playing for United. Like Menu, from the very first day Menu got on the pitch, you could actually tell that this guy, he has is lived is high above that expectation. He's not overwhelmed by the aura and by the stadium, the fans. He's actually, you could see he's seizing this opportunity. So those are the kind of youth I want. And when they get their chance, don't just say, "Oh, mommy, I'm getting my chance tomorrow." No, mommy, I'm getting my chance tomorrow, and I'm gonna take it, even if it's 10 minutes. I'm gonna be because one thing, you could actually get your chance 10 minutes and do not play according to the manager's instruction, if you know what I mean. Manager might actually tell you, go in there, do XYZ, and you go in there because of the occasion, you can't even actually execute the plan. Though the manager might see you as saying, okay, maybe you're naive or inexperienced, but one of the ways of seizing your opportunity is actually playing to the manager's instruction, especially when you're giving that 5-10 minutes as a debut. That's how I see it overall.
All right, and Rajat, this is especially for you, my brother, because you mentioned it, and I know Drex was probably wondering what were you talking about. You know, Drex usually has his finger on the pulse, but me, I've not seen this article, so I'll just bring it up right here, and I'll say to you guys here: Manchester United high stakes game, the £10 million Champions League gamble. In the ever competitive realm of football, the stakes have never been higher for Manchester United. With the new Adidas kit deal, worth an eye-watering 90 million pounds annually, set to kick off next year. The pressure is on. But it's not just the lucrative sum that's catching attention, it's the stringent clause that accompanies it. Every failure to secure a spot in the Champions League comes with a hefty £10 million penalty. The revelation has been highlighted by Martin Ziegler in the Times, underscores the financial ramifications of the sporting success or lack thereof. The financial implications of missing the Champions League football, the importance of Champions League to Manchester United cannot be overstated, not just for the glory and the prestige, but also for the financial health of the club. Under the new terms, Adidas, the penalty for missing out on this elite competition has been set at £10 million for every season of absence. This clause marks a significant shift from their previous deal, where the penalty was only imposed after failing to qualify for two consecutive seasons.
What I gotta say about that right there is, I have to applaud whoever did drew up that contract, whoever put in this clause. I have to applaud that person. You know why I said so?
Mm-hmm.
Because at one point the Glazers were taking United for a ride. They were taking a lot of the sponsors for a ride, right? So now Adidas wants to still be identified with Manchester United. They still want to work with Manchester United. They know what that fan base can do, right, in terms of revenue and all of that for Adidas, right, in on the on from the Manchester United aspect, right. So what has happened in the, I feel like because of the what has happened in the past 6 to 10 years, Adidas are like, you know what, we can't keep be doing the same thing and expecting a different result, right? Let's do something different that would put pressure on not just the manager, on not just the club, but also on the players.
100%. Yeah. I was not going to say that, bro. Swear,
Yeah,
Be-
on also on the players, because now, fine, the players are not supposed to be bothered about the deal. They are not supposed to be bothered about the deal. Now, this is why I said the players, because if there's pressure on the owners and the structure and the club, that pressure will in turn be um I know their kids are crap. I know, bro.
no, but yeah, it's not the
No,
best. But check this out, right?
no, but let me just
Le-
drop this last point, because if the
Before, let me
pressure is
finish. Let
coming
me just
from,
do the article, bro,
okay,
and then
okay,
you could drop
oh
off
yeah, yeah,
after
go
I
ahead,
finish, right?
go ahead.
A new era of accountability, and I'm pretty sure this going to lead into your points, Drex. This updated agreement signals the new era of accountability, ensuring that every match and every point could be crucial to financial well-being of the club. The original 10-year deal that was worth a whopping £750 million from Adidas is nearing its end with the end of the season, making it fresh for a more demanding contract. It's a clear message. Consistent performance at the highest level is not just expected, it's financially mandated. The potential for business. Despite the daunting penalties, there's a silver lining. United could earn bonuses up to £4.4 million annually for triumphs in the Premier League or the Women's Super League, FA Cup, or continental competitions. This clause not only incentivizes success across both the men's and the women's teams, but also underlines the club's commitment to excellence in all competitions. The weight of expectation as Manchester United prepares for a future under the terms of their new deal with Adidas, the emphasis on Champions League qualification has never been, more pronounced. The financial stakes attached to their on-field performances highlight the intricate and balance between sporting success and financial stability. It's a high-stakes game, and the world will be watching.
Bro, it's like, see, they need to, whoever drew up this contract, right, for this added, bro, man, and they need to award that guy some extra bonus, right? Because, like I said earlier, it feels like United have been taking Adidas. I see. One would expect me to protect United here, but no, it feels like United have been taking Adidas for a ride, like at all on all level, right? But now this in Adidas are saying, okay, since you guys can't put your house in order, we're gonna help you fix it, and this is where we're gonna help you fix it. We're gonna agree to the new deal. I think it was an improved deal. We are gonna agree to that deal, right? But here's the catch: you're not going to take us for a ride as you've been doing previously. For every time you don't qualify for the Champions League, this amount of money is you're not getting it. And also there's a 4.4 million annual triumph, whatever it is, for Premier League across all board, men and women, right? So it's just goes to show that these guys have sat down with United and say, yo, you guys have the capacity to be on top of the world on all level, right? But you're not doing that at the moment because from the top to the bottom, everything looks chaotic. Now fix up. This is, for me, this is beautiful. Players would indirectly get the pressure. The owners already so I think this was what the Glazers saw. I'm like, part of the things the Glazers saw, I'm like, you know what, we can't do this anymore. Like, the financial hit, if we don't, because guess what? If Sir Jim wasn't here, I don't think Eric Ten Hag would be going anywhere because the Glazers don't have the money to actually sack him.
Either
And
way,
that
I don't think he's going anywhere
no,
because
no, 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 no.
understand what I'm saying here.
I'm just saying there's some sort of buffer for him, right? For them, because now they'll be saying, okay, Sir Jim, you take over that problem. But I'm saying from what we knew, right, about how we know that we've hit a snag when it comes to finances and all of that, right? In terms of the allowance, in terms of the credit and all of that, right? This
Mhm.
is actually good. This put
Yeah,
pressure on them. This put
this sets
pressure on
a different precedent. Not only, this forces the club to operate professionally.
100%.
You know what I mean? This forces not only listen. When I read that 4.4 million, that's 4.4 million for every tournament or cup we win. So if the ladies win a cup, that's 4.4 million. If we win
Big
a
up
Carabao
yourself,
Cup, it's
Superfly.
4.4
Big
million.
up, big up, big up,
If
big
we
up,
win
big
a
up.
if we win a FA Cup, 4.4 million. Big up to you, DJ Superfly. See you tomorrow for the watch along, my brother. Hope you have a good night, man. You know, and I just wanted, and I just, and in saying that, it kind of highlights the direction the club going in. And you can see why we get best in class because these guys that can take, honor that deal. And this is why I'm so positive about the squad because I could see the change coming. And
Mm-hmm.
when I read something like this, in order for us to sign that contract, we had to be prepared
100,
to change and
100,
to chase this target
100,
down and, even
100%.
improve on it. You know what I mean? And then I saw this article and I don't know, I feel like Jarvis might like this more than you, but I know you might like this too. So let me just bring this here one time.
But oh man,
Yeah,
this
you
guy.
talk about it, you talk
n-
about it, you talk about it. Now
No,
it
but
might be a reality.
this guy, right? This guy, my fan. If there's any truism in this, right? I know we want to wrap up the show now. If there's any truism in this gossip right here, right? This guy would jump. This particular player would snap their finger off, like, yo, is there a chance me going to United? I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Like, this guy would be the perfect replacement for not see, when I use the word
I
perfect,
know
let
what
me
you
just,
mean. He would
yeah,
be a good player to come in for Casemiro.
100%.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
not the
no.
perfect, not perfect, but if Casemiro, we find some way to move Casemiro on, they move Casemiro on and find a way to get this gossip actually happens and we get this guy, brilliant.
Well, let me read the
Brilliant.
article real quick, right? Dan Ashwood could bring Bruno Ramirez to Manchester United with him from Newcastle, according to claims in Spanish media. As is the case with a lot of transfer speculation, you can count most of it with a pinch of salt.
100.
Ashworth is set to become sporting director of United, moving from Newcastle, who may be forced into cashing on their most prized asset to fund further squad investment. So if you join the dots, you'll have a story. Brazilian midfielder Bruno Ramirez has been hugely impressive for Newcastle, and it would be a huge kick in the teeth for their fans to lose him to a bigger Premier League club. You know, Saturday's Manchester United gossip. Manchester United and Man City are interested in a move for the star Bruno Ramirez. Rashford is not expected to move PSG this summer following reports that he would replace 25-year-old Kylian Mbappe. Juventus Weston McKinney has emerged as a what? I'm not even finishing that sentence, bro. Sorry. That's
No, Western
no, no, no.
McKennie, Western.
Rubbish. Shit. Don't do that. Ugh. Ugh. Bruv, I nearly grossed myself out reading that sentence. I had to stop. Sorry, guys. Big up to you, Shay. Hope you're having a good night, my brother. But let's bring you on. Let's bring on to a story that I want to talk about to close the show, right? And for all those you could be mad from now, I just want you to read the story and weep. Because for all of you talking about Mitchell and Girona,
Yo, man,
the
he
man of
he
the match in
actually.
the game today against
Oh,
that same Girona team is none other than our very own
oh,
Mason
that's that's
Greenwood.
that's 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 huge, though. That's big for him, though. But you already know my stand. My stand is whatever the board wants, whatever the new group wants to do, right? They should do, and for as long as, okay, let me just say this straight. For as long as they don't act biased. So as long as they don't make decision of, you know how the man says it's not going to be listening to the hype, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, whether it's positive hype or it's negative hype, some of us want him back, some of us don't want him back, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, whichever way, it's all hype. As long as they make their decision based on footballing reasons and what's available in terms of what's available in front of them, right? Then I see whatever decision they make, I support it, but they should not be biased. They should be making the decision from a clear, with a clear head and a clear mind, and yeah, go with it. Because the other day I was seeing somebody say morals, and somebody just put Manchester United and morals. He just put a quote right there. I'm like, okay. And everybody that most of the people that I saw it, you could see that there was a lot of likes on the tweet, right? But I'm like, I could tell what the guy was going to. But for me, the trawler group and whoever is going to be in charge, just make your decision and make it quick, because the summer transfer window is right next door, right there. It's really closer than they think. Yeah. That's my take on this. That's going to be my final take on this missing, because the back and forth is not healthy for anybody, right? Let's just be clear with one thing: the back and forth is not healthy. They just should make a decision. But you can't just come out and say you want to sell him now. So let him play some more. Let him finish the season and even bring him back to Old Trafford. Because once he's done with his loan, he has to go back to base, and let him come back to base and let people come entertain. If you want to entertain, offers entertain. If you don't match your asking price, if you want to get him back on the squad, get him back on the squad. And whatever it is, do. You don't owe the fans no explanation. Just do.
100%, bro. Let me just jump into this article real quick because Manchester United loanee Mason Greenwood put in yet another sensational performance as his side Getafe beat La Liga high flyers Girona. A first half goal from Jesus Santiago was enough to ensure the win for Getafe and clinch all 3 points, but it was a big win. Girona had a point above third place Barcelona and 10 points adrift of Los Blancos. None other than, Real Madrid. The Blaugrana have had a game in hand. The result also left Getafe ninth in the La Liga standings. While he didn't score, Greenwood played a big part in the club's incredible victory at the Estadio Coliseum. During the game he was on the pitch, the Englishman registered 41 touches of the ball. He had successfully delivered 24 of 27 passes he attempted, managing a pass accuracy of 89. One of his passes was a key pass. Greenwood tried to ping three long balls. He found his intended targets on all three occasions. The Englishman has just one shot at Girona goal, but it was off target. He didn't really require the goalkeeper to intervene. He embarked on 7 dribbles and completed 4 of these. He delved into 12 to 12 ground duels and he came out on top on 6 occasions. The forward was required to contest for one aerial challenge, but he was outdone. The Iloni also drew in 2 fouls. Earlier, there was report by the People's person that relayed that Greenwood, who is no longer interested in a return to Old Trafford, is being pursued by multiple interested clubs, including Spanish giants Atletico Madrid. And it's easy to see why he's on the radar of many teams keen on landing him and providing him with another home. And as I would say, I won't really be keen to agree with what the People's person has been saying, because I would just say that, it's known that he's one of those fans that does not want Greenwood back for certain reasons that aren't based on football. But at the same time, guys, I just wanted to highlight that, football is a funny game. And I'm not trying to condone the mistake or the allegations or the accusations that happened. But what I would say is the youngster, clearly, if he ever was looking for actions to speak louder than words, his actions this season clearly speak that he wants a chance at redemption, and that's my honest opinion. And if he was to be looking to bring a player back in our squad who could impact games, I mean, from the articles I've read, multiple of these articles on Mason Greenwood this season, so you could see every single game it's being reported that he's the game changer, the spark, the light, the most positive player in the squad. The man of the match. It's shocking that for fans who want to win, they will not have a player that we know is definitely going to give us a step in that direction. Guys, Drex, we're about to close the show. I know I kept it here for a while. It's an hour about almost 20 minutes now. At the same time, let's just get a little score prediction for tomorrow.
Oh, like
Manchester United versus Liverpool in the FA Cup. We will be there for the watch along. Big up to Poppy. Afterwards, I'm definitely going to be online streaming, guys, but I'm actually going to be featuring on a stream with the likes of Mo and Footy Judge Mo and his cast for the reaction. That's going to be live at 6:30, guys. Be there. Support me. It's going to be a big one. So, guys, I hope you all are going to take this time to smash the likes and subscribe. Don't forget to go to my buddy's Drex's channel, who's also streaming this tonight with me, because we're doing the match preview together. Make sure to go to D Hub TV, smash a like and subscribe there. Get it to 100 subs, guys, and big up to all of you joining us. Drex, I think it's going to be a good game for United tomorrow. I'm usually very positive, but I definitely think tomorrow we're going to win that game. And I'm going with a 3-1. I just,
bro,
for some reason, I
like
think we're
see,
gonna put a couple of goals in the
I,
back of the net.
I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna say this. I'm usually optimistic, but tomorrow, whether you want to call it tomorrow, whether you want to say delusional optimistic, unrealistic optimism, real optimism, whatever you want to put, label it as. Tomorrow, they have to.
Yeah,
they
they
have to.
got to, you
They
know.
have to win tomorrow because win tomorrow. I'm already seeing. See, like I said earlier, I don't like to count my chicks before they're hatched, right? But I'm already seeing it. Like we win tomorrow, we take that momentum into the Coventry game, and we'll see ourselves in the final. Let's get to the final, and whatever happens in the final, we'll end up deciding on that bridge. But right now, we're at the crossroad. We'd have to make a bridge and get ourselves to the other side. I don't know whether you're falling down trees, whether you're getting your cars to line up, whether I don't know. I don't want to care. I don't care to know what you want to do tomorrow. Just make the bridge, cross to the other side. That's all I'm asking you
100%.
guys.
Guys, we already know what we think Ten Hag might do, because we already spoke about it. But you know what, guys? It's not just about what we think, it's also what you think. And if you're not
Oh yeah,
joining us
true.
live and you're going to be joining us in the non-live section, Let us know in the comments. Drop your like, drop your subscription. You know, tell us what you think. Leave your comments. We will be replying. Tomorrow is definitely going to have a watch along. Be there, guys. Come along. We're going to be doing it on my channel. You can view it on my channel, or you can view it on Botswana Poppy's Football Power Hour. Big up to all of you joining us. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a good night. I know it's Saturday night, and a lot of you can't wait to go out and probably get that little frustrations off with some like relaxation or R&R and recreation. Guys,
Yeah,
have a good
yeah,
night. Be leisurely. Be safe out there. And you know what? Never say die, because it's Manchester United and the Reds will be marching on. Tomorrow it's a big game. We're at home. We have to defend it. It's a war. It's rivalry. And anyone thinks differently, it's not for you, because Liverpool, they are the enemy and we have to take them down. At all costs, we must get it done. I don't know what it's going to take, but every single player on that field, they need to walk out there with the energy of this is Sparta. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
Big up to all of you joining us. Drex, thank you so much for joining me, my bro.
Anytime,
I
anytime,
will see
anytime.
you tomorrow. Thank you guys, and we will be with you again. Let's go.